Good evening, guys. Hello, hello. Give me 2 minutes. Sorry, 2 seconds, I should have said. I could feel myself like my hay fever, like a sneeze coming. I didn't want to sneeze on you all. So, good evening. Welcome to your team training. Let me just pause the record.
Hi everyone, welcome to June Powwow. Woo! Give us a wave, give us a wave, give us a wave.
July. July. Hi,
Basically,
wow.
it's July. Oh my God, we're in July. Sugar, did I say June? Oh, well,
I
that was
know,
a
but literally, the
good
year's just
start.
going like that.
The year is going, it is absolutely flying by, and oh my God, I just honestly I just look at the dates and I'm like, how is the year literally nearly gone?
Insane.
It's a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. So, welcome to July Powwow. I will bring my notes up. I'm really excited about tonight because I feel like the topic is something that is kind of been asked for a little bit, but without you realizing that this is what you've been asking for. And I feel like there's a real buzz of energy, momentum at the moment in Scentsy. So for me, I feel like, and I know, look, I know we talk about this on the daily about how the momentum feels and how things like feel like the changes that are coming. As in
100%.
like the actual feel of how things are. And if you're brand new, you might be thinking, what is she going on about?
Well,
Like,
yeah, what are they talking
what
about?
are they talking about? But there definitely has been a bit of a lull. And I feel like that has almost gone. I feel like we are now getting to a point where things are super exciting again. We're starting to see people promote, we're starting to see people join in, we're starting to see new products drop in. I feel like watching Heidi and Orville and Dan live just is literally the buzz is real. And I feel like there's so many of you guys starting to show up like how it was when we first started. That's what I've started to see. I don't
100% because the thing is, again, we're not going to talk about this is I feel like oh, by the way, snap. They had no Pepsi in Tesco. I got Diet Coke. I thought
Someone
it'd be
needs to
fun.
snap a picture of that and be like,
Go on.
Lisa and Laura, cheers, Diet Coke moment. If not, I will find that
We'll
still.
find it at the end. But yeah, 100% because do you know what's brilliant and what we're going to cover tonight is people, whether, like I said, whether, like Lisa's just said, whether you're new coming in or whether you've been around for a while, but you've maybe, and I hate that word mojo, but like, you've been in a bit of a low. Going back to basics, you're doing like the income producing activities and not just posting and running. We're not saying, I mean, people are posting obviously, but there's actual like real life things happening, as in like things are being, borrow bags are being dropped off, people are partying. Like we said, we had a double promotion last month. Absolutely phenomenal. Like we've got people promoting. We can see you all stepping out of your comfort zone. And like we said, it feels like when we started, it feels like it was back in the beginning, which is just energy and excitement. And there is like you are literally at the start of something really special now. So that's what we wanted to talk about tonight.
Okay, so one of the sort of topic, what do we call tonight's training
We
again?
called tonight making yourself feel seen, I think. Let me find the
Yeah,
picture.
making yourself feel seen and not being afraid to take up space. And I feel like
Make
this is
yourself
gonna
big, seen, and unmissable.
This is it. And I feel like this is going to really tie in nicely with all the branding stuff that we did. But also, more importantly, this is that next step into like, what are we talking about? And what we're talking about, you've probably seen, and I don't want to talk about this in a negative way. This is a real positive thing, but not a positive thing. It's a negative. But you've probably seen so many network marketing companies closing their doors. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be addressed. Like, we've seen Body Shop go, we see Ann Summers go this week. Um, We've seen FM make huge changes in their like their compensation plan and stuff. And we have to acknowledge these things. But what we've seen in Scentsy is tweaks to change things. And what you start to see happening is other network marketing companies start to get louder. And this is where it's now our turn. We need to get louder. This is the next step. It's like, how do we get louder? How do we become more seen? Because now is that opportunity where our company is about to gain momentum and grow. There are going to be lots of people out there that maybe have been customers to some of these other companies that are now they're going to have a little bit more money to spend. So they might be looking to spend it on their home and on home fragrance. Who knows? They might not be buying their hand summers anymore. And also I feel like there's such a turn in things at the moment when we start to gain momentum, we have to talk about it because, genuinely speaking, when Laura and I both started our businesses, I remember naturally just shouting from the rooftops, using social media to talk about things that we have done. We did these things very naturally. And I know that not everybody finds this comfortable. And this is what we're going to sort of address tonight. But kind of getting out there and being loud and proud about what your team are doing, what the group that you're being part of are doing, what the company is doing. Because probably there are lots of you that either don't post in a very public place, or be honest, don't talk to people about your Scentsy business when you go anywhere because you're not comfortable putting yourself out there. Like I know that it's an absolute habit for us to somehow it ends up, and actually I don't need to start conversations anymore because I walk into the playground and mums will say to me, "How was your cruise that you went on with
Yeah.
Scentsy?" Or, "Oh, I see you're doing this with Scentsy." And it might not necessarily be an incentive or something I've earned, but they're seeing it because they use social media, or I'm talking about it, or I'm posting about it, or they're in my customer group, or they're on my seeing my stories. And this is where we need to turn the volume up a little bit because Laura and I can shout from the rooftops for all of you. Like we will always be your biggest cheerleaders.
Always.
That is like number one. We will always be the biggest cheerleaders in the room. However, we want you guys to be on that bandwagon and be cheerleading with us, whether that's cheerleading for each other, cheerleading for the company, cheerleading for the product, cheerleading for somebody's promotion or your something that you've done yourself, and it might be something really like minor. So we're going to talk about how you can be loud and proud tonight and what impact that can have with your sales, what impact that can have with definitely with your sponsoring as well, and we'll try and tie the two together. So hopefully that will give you some ideas. And then what we're going to do is tie that really nicely into how can we make your business bigger and better because of that, because people are going to start noticing you're going to be take up space, and it's okay to take up space.
Absolutely.
Section.
And oh my God, whatever literally just came in my brain, I was gonna say has gone out again.
I was saying about taking up space, and it's okay to take up space
Oh,
and
actually, I know what I was gonna say, yeah. So this is the topic that like just that line, take up space. I could talk about that all night, right? But what I wanted to say to you, as Lisa was saying, like showing up in these places, what you need to understand is if you are relatively new to this, even if people are not commenting and liking everything, they are watching. I
always.
like 100% people will comment over the years. Um, People have joined, people have, and I never knew they were interested in Scentsy. I never knew that they'd watched that I'd been on a trip. I never knew they've never commented or liked on anything, but people are watching. If you had a look at like how many people might like a post, that might not be that many, but if you look at how many people watch your stories, people are watching. So don't get disheartened if you think, oh well, I post and like nobody interacts and nobody comments, or not that many. People are watching what you're doing. Honestly, people are nosy. People want to know what you're up to. And think about it. Turn it round to yourself as the consumer or like a customer. That is how we met. Do you know what? I've just literally written Amy joining on my little list of things I was going to reference because that is actually how Amy ended up joining. It's how Emma London ended up joining. People are watching what you're doing. People are interested, and flip it around the other way. Think about how many people you watch on social media. How many people I struggle to post about me. It really scares me. We're going to talk about that in a minute, Trish. Um, how many people do you watch and just become like, they're really engaging, and then before you know it, you've watched somebody like, I don't know, clean out their fridge or I don't know, random stuff. So
All the
it's
time.
done. You've got to stop thinking like, oh, I'm not interested. People are interested in everything, everything.
People are nosy, and that's all you've got to remember. So, really, more than anything, we're going to talk about the mindset to start with. I know Laura's favourite subject, but we're going to have to reel her in because we know she'll go on about it for hours and hours.
Oh
I'm
no,
only joking.
no, it's
I love you. However, we've got to talk about. For me, I'm going to come to you probably from a different angle of the mindset, and it's going to be a word that I talked about in my team group this week. That if you want your business to work, there's a word beginning with P, which is the most important one, and this is going to be the one that most of you are going to say to me, I don't do that. And it's called prioritizing. Okay. I've spoke to a few people in inboxes this week because we can talk to you about all the mindset stuff. We can say, work on this, become more confident, do this, do that. However, if it's not a priority to you,
absolutely.
it's gonna not happen. You've got to think that Scentsy isn't a priority to all your customers, right? And there are going to be probably a very small, minute few that will, it's a priority to them because they're obsessed with the way their home smells, like us, okay? They will probably become the consultants. However, 95% of your customers, yes, they want their home to smell nice, of course, but it's not a priority to them. They're not thinking about Scentsy all day, every single day. The fact that you're here shows to me that you've prioritized this. And I know there's lots of people that will watch this back and they will need to watch it back because of work and whatnot. I understand that. However, if you're completely honest with yourself, how much time do you give your Scentsy business? And by time, I mean how much in terms of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours do you actually give that's on growth activities, not making samples, not making flyers on social media. I mean, actually messaging your customers or delivering orders or actually like making orders, as in like not making them up, as in like actually selling, having joint conversations. If you had to give it an actual time per day, how many minutes per day do you think you spend on that? For me, and I know Laura, we're probably in the region of maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. We work, or maybe more than that, actually. I probably work like really, I work an 8 hour day.
Yeah.
However, we are aware that we're full time at this. However, when I was working, I was probably, so I worked like lots of you. Laura worked like lots of you. Laura had about 20 jobs when I first met her. I had two. Okay. I was a teacher and I was also teaching classes and I was also running a fitness class online. I would do probably in the region of 2 hours Scentsy per day when I was working. And that was in between lunch hours, that was after school, it was driving to work, voice noting people, watching training. Um, and then in my action came of an evening when I got home and put my kids to bed.
But if I'm honest, I have to be more intentional. Like we have to be more intentional with our time now because all of a sudden when you have all day, and I don't just mean you have all day, like when you've got, you've got the kids and you've got all this other stuff to do. When you solely work for yourself and you run a business yourself and you don't have a job where somebody's telling you what to do, I was much more I'm not now because obviously the habits are dialed in now with Lisa and I because we've done it for a long time. But in the beginning, when we first, I remember when I first went full time and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be on top of everything all the time because I'm going to have all day. But then all of a sudden, you go and put a wash on, or you just pop to the supermarket, or you do this and you do this, and before you know it, it's 2 o'clock, and you've got to pick up your child in an hour, and you haven't actually done any Scentsy. So it's about making it a priority. And somebody's just written hard in the comments. Forgive me, I can't see what context it is.
Yeah, it was
Um,
hard having an
I
actual
am.
day.
I'm recording. Don't worry, it's there. Somebody said it's hard. It is hard. It is hard, and it's about being disciplined, and it's about. It's hard having a lot of time in the day. Yeah, definitely. And but you have to make it a priority. It's about prioritizing things. There's quite a famous quote. I don't know who said it first of all, but like if it's important to you, you'll make the time. If not, you'll make an excuse. And it is literally so true. It's the same with your Scentsy business. It's the same with your fitness. It's the same with drinking water. It's the same with anything. If something is a priority to you, you will make the time for it. It is as simple as that.
So that's what we want you to think about. We want you to think about how you can actually prioritize Scentsy in some part of your day, whether it's you split up your minutes and be like, right, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That's 30 minutes a day across the week. Like if you did an hour a day, that's going to give you 5 to 7 hours a week of solid, actual income producing activities. If you give your business that amount of time and you're making yourself loud and seen in those times, and we'll talk about what that looks like in a bit. I promise you, your business will do a 360. But some of you probably, there are some days where maybe you're like, I haven't worked at all today. I haven't done anything for my business. I might have scheduled some posts. That doesn't really count because you're looking at interaction with actual customers, finding new customers. They're the things that you need to be doing on a daily to, or even just putting yourself out there so that people remember. Because what has happened is when you're not consistent at making yourself loud and proud of the company that you work for, people forget. And that suddenly you might find one of your customers goes and joins Scentsy or another network marketing company with somebody else, or you go and see that they've ordered from somebody else, and you're like, hold on a minute, like they're my customer. But also, have you followed up with them? Did they remember who you are? Have you had any contact with them since 2024? And if that's the case, then you haven't, then you've got to be prioritizing your time a little bit better that you've got. And I know that Katrina and Georgia are running a program that's really, really useful for this at the minute. So if you haven't dialed into that, then that's definitely worth spending a bit of time and going and have a little watch back on some of the stuff that they've been doing. But that's the most important thing, because if you don't prioritize it, all the things that we're going to give you tonight are pointless. They're not
And
going to
I,
work.
and also, when it comes back to like the mindset of it, just be honest in the comments if you have another job, and be honest, because on with any training you ever watch with anybody, unless you're actually honest and do some self-reflection, it's pointless being here. We're not saying these things to call anybody out or to make you feel bad or anything like that. It's to self-reflect, because if you don't self-reflect things, and if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you always got. So if you have another job, if you were out at a social situation, a barbecue or something, if somebody asked you what you do for a living, what would you tell them?
I just read as well, by the way, what Marie said, and I'm just going to talk. Marie said, I go by my list, and what I don't do on day one, I make sure I do the next day. And I know that she does this because her PRV reflects it. When she's hitting 1,000 PRV and getting like paid at title as a lead nearly month on month out, I know that she's using her pockets of time. I really do.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. So I test people's hearing and vision, amazing. Nursery assistant, amazing. I am not, obviously, I have an intense daytime job. I would say I work in fraud, but I also sell Scentsy. Absolutely. That was my point that I was getting at, okay? If somebody says to you what you do for a living, you need to be telling them that you're a Scentsy consultant. If you don't tell them, they don't know. People are not psychic. People don't just, when like they said, but she was a teacher when she started. I was a fitness instructor. I worked in my kids' school, and I also waitressed three
That's
nights a
how
week.
Laura recruited me, because she said, I teach my own classes. Oh, and I also sell Scentsy. And I was like, oh, well, what's that?
So
Candles. Oh,
exactly.
margarine. That was the conversation.
Literally, that was how quickly Lisa joined. Honestly, it was like that. But my point was this: they weren't then independent of each other. So when I was waitressing, I used to take my whiff bags to the restaurant with me and leave it in the staff room. When I was doing my classes, my whiff bag came along with me and catalogues that were left on the side. And like I said, Lisa comes to classes. I'm also a Scentsy consultant. So if you have another job and you are seeing other people, you need to integrate Scentsy into that. Or if you are talking about it, you make sure
Exactly.
that you are proud to be a Scentsy consultant. That's something like if you don't really, truly, honestly, deep down in your core believe in the products and the business opportunity, other people are not going to believe in it. So you need to believe in it, like into your soul, first of all.
And Liz, I've just seen your comment, by the way, and I know you've messaged me, and yes, I need to message you back. I've just seen your name, and then it's just triggered that I haven't messaged you back, so I'm really, really sorry. Okay, guys, so we're talking about how then do we do that? Okay, prioritizing, we all get that. That's the tough love, okay? That's the tough love. You know that we always bring a little bit of tough love. That's the bit where everyone goes, "Oh, I feel seen. I feel like Lisa and Laura are attacking me." We're
Every
not.
every time we
We're
get it,
not.
we're like, "Oh, I felt you were talking to me." But do you know why we do these things? We do them because we see it, and then the same people are saying to us, "I want to grow my PRV." If we just went, "Oh yeah, okay, carry on what you're doing," we're not doing our job. So that
No.
is why we do talk about these things, because our job is to help you to grow. And if you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to grow.
Okay, so let's talk about different ways that we're going to make yourself feel bigger. Okay, and some of these things are going to be really natural to you, and some not so much. Some is like where the struggle falls. So social media is obviously the biggest one. And I know I talk about personal profiles, and I know some people can't post on their personal profile for whatever reason. I understand that, and I think you've got a much harder job if you can't post in some sort of way on a public platform. It does make it a little bit harder to be loud and proud. But your job, if that is you, is to get people into your customer group or into your WhatsApp group. How you do that is up to you, how you make that work for you, because then you have to be loud and proud in those groups. So you need to probably have double the amount of people in your customer groups, double the amount of people in your WhatsApp group, because you're not getting the natural traffic of people from social media. And at the moment, I get, and I know Laura does, we get a lot of people looking at our Instagram or our Facebook, for example, or business pages, and there's a lot of traffic coming from there. We're not just using a closed customer group.
No, but what I just want to put as a little side note, which I know are obviously going to talk about in a moment, but if you can't have social media as well, I have got a teamie, Karen. I don't think she's on tonight. Because of her job, she can't have Facebook. She was on 1,300 PRV last month, and when I asked her how she did it, she literally, like I just said a moment ago, when she takes her son to Scouts or Cubs, whichever one, I can't remember it was, or when she goes to there's another like crafting club or something that she goes to. When she goes to work, she takes her whiff bag everywhere with her and collecting orders. She's not even on social media. Well, she's on Instagram. She's got a private account. That's how she found me. But she only watched. She doesn't post anything. So she has built a business completely away from social media by being loud and proud about being a sense consultant in her day-to-day life. So there are other ways, if you can't post on your personal profile, or even if you can't
Or
have it,
even if you can't use social
to do
media.
it.
And obviously, guys, we're not just talking about a closed customer group because if you can't use socials, this bit isn't going to apply to you. So don't feel that I'm like not talking directly to you. But if you are using just your customer group and you've got a Facebook that's public and you've got a business page and you've got all these other platforms, you need to be using all of them. And you've got to find a way. All right, Instagram, I know scares a lot of people. Let's just put that to one side for a moment because I know that scares a lot of people. My best advice to you would be link your Instagram and your Facebook and just cross post on them for now.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's a block for you. If that's a blocker for you, I know lots of people say to me, I can't do Instagram, Lisa, don't make me do it. And I'm like, that's fine. You haven't got to do those things. But you do need to, if you can have a business page, you need to be posting on it. If you can have a store Instagram stories or a public Instagram, then definitely have that. If you can use WhatsApp stories, post on there as well. There's so many different avenues that you can post on. I know Una's just said some customers don't have socials. We will come on to that in a minute. We're talking about the selling, doing the smelling and
Yeah.
whatnot. That is part of the training. So I really want you to home in on making sure that you're advertising on all, but not just the product. This is the most important bit. How many of you have done something you're proud of since you joined Scentsy? How many of you have done, to put in the chat, just one thing that you've done that Scentsy has done for you that maybe people don't know about? And I'm talking about not people in this group, I'm talking about people in the wider world. It might be improved your confidence. It might be that you sold £5,000 worth of Scentsy and you hit a lifetime PRV, you promoted, you recruited your first teammate. It might be, no one's typing. Come on, guys, I should be able to read loads of things that you're proud of. Tell me something you're proud of right now in the chat. Right, okay, we're starting, we're getting there. So when you have done something that you're proud of, you need to go and tell the world.
Yeah.
Go. You see me and Laura do it all the time. What have you seen me and Laura talk about? The cruise. You've seen me talk about when I hit annual sales. When Laura got Circle of Growth, she did a post about it. When we both were awarded Shining. I know these are like big awards. However, you see me talk about my frontline team. You see me talk about bingo incentives or earning some suitcases or actually just something that my team have done that I love.
Or when we send you emails every month and like to congratulate you, or we tag you in a post mid-month and say you're in the top 20 in sales. Like we do these things obviously to recognize you, but also to encourage you to share them because I guarantee there's a lot of people out there that get absolutely zero recognition in their job. And
Yeah.
if you share share what sense it gives you, as in that community and the support that you are getting. That is, it is absolutely okay to be proud of yourself. Like, how many of you, like, if you've got children, how many of you would tell your children, like, do you know what? You should be really proud of yourself. Why aren't you doing that for yourself? Like, it's okay. It's such a thing people go, oh, I don't want to come across as if like I'm showing off. Show off because it inspires people. And the people that have got a problem with it or maybe triggered by it, that's the them problem. That's not a you problem. That's a them problem. You need to be proud of showing up because the people that you're inspiring are the ones that are watching and think, oh, actually, maybe I want to do that as
And
well.
also, it gives you conversation points, guys. You will walk into the playground and someone's going to go, "Oh my God, Claire, like you've got all this recognition. Like you must be doing really well at Scentsy." And you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm doing really well." And they might be like, "Do you know what? I've been meaning to order from you." Straight away, we've got a connection. We've made a connection. Someone's going to talk to you that maybe wouldn't necessarily have spoken to you. I've had people reach. You wouldn't believe this since doing my makeup. If you've not seen it, I did some partnering with makeup. I've had so many people message me and say that are nothing to do with Scentsy or any other point in my life, but just by being on social media more, they're now inboxing me. Should we meet up for lunch? I'd love to catch up. I haven't spoke to you for a while. Oh my God, Lisa, I've just seen you do this. Then suddenly they're starting to pick up on things from Scentsy. Now I'm having joint conversations and other conversations about product. So sometimes you've just got to be prepared to put yourself out there a little bit more. Talking about these things. If you're not sure what to do, write a list of them. Write a list of all the things And worst case scenario, if you're not checking your emails from us, check your
Yeah,
emails. Laura and I are probably emailing the majority of the people on this call at least once a month. Okay.
absolutely.
And you've got an email from us and it's telling you you've done something well, screenshot it. Dan Orchard, he now emails when you sponsor,
Yeah,
when you get over 2,000, screenshot it. Holly, she sent emails last month, screenshot it. If your name is in the group, screenshot it. Talk about your achievements. And even if your achievement is improving your confidence, that means that is more than any of the other, that is going to hit more people than how much you earned. I'm telling you
absolutely.
that now.
It's gonna evoke some kind of emotion in somebody, and that's what's gonna attract people in. Like Amy's just said. So on International Women's Day a couple of years ago, Amy tagged me in a post. We'd never spoken about anything that she wrote about, and it just made me cry in my kitchen. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And she was like, "I found you really inspiring." And then we went for a walk, and she joined Scentsy, and the rest is history. And there she is on this call. But what I'm saying is, I that was me just sharing about shouting at my team or things that Scentsy done for my confidence or all those things. So it's about attracting people in, but also showing people what you are capable of, and it will ignite something in them for them to think. So the way my brain works is if I see somebody achieve something, I don't get like, oh, look at them. I think, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too. And
Yeah,
there will be people out there that if they see you achieving these things, like and I don't, please don't mean this as it's going to sound like we're just all normal people, right? We're normal, we're ordinary people achieving extraordinary things through Sensei, and it might trigger something in somebody to think, well, if they can do it, maybe I can do it too. So it's not about going, oh, look at me, look at what I've done. It's about inspiring other people to think maybe they can do it as well.
100%. And the other thing with this, guys, like a few of you are saying, oh, I don't know why I don't do this. But when you've done it once or twice and you get these lovely comments back, it's also a little bit of, what do you call that? I don't know, like where it's almost feeding into yourself a little bit and your confidence will gain a little bit more because you're like, do you know what? Last time I did that, I got some really lovely comments. And as you say, there will always be one negative Nancy. They won't say it, but they might say it behind your back, whatever. You've just got to be like, whatever, let that go. If I honestly, if I cried a tear for every single person that said a negative thing about me, I'd be flooded.
I'd be crying all day.
I'd be flooded. We'd be flooded. Anyway, we've talked about this subject too much. It's this one. So other things, okay. The smelling needs to do the selling. We will very skirt over this, but guys, the way you're going to get your name out there is get your borrow bags booked out, get the parties booked, get the WhatsApp parties. Do not give up on them. Do not give up on asking people if they want all of these things, okay? Just don't give up on it because when those waxes go under people's noses, you guys know how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Guys know, right? You guys know. And realistically, the smelling does the selling. You can post all you like on social media. I'm not going to lie. Am I buying a perfume off social media like that I've never known? Absolutely not, because I want to go and smell it first before I purchase. So I want you to think like that. If that's the case, we need to be getting sample packs out and we need to be getting borrow bags under people's noses. If parties aren't working for you, absolutely fine, but you've got alternatives. You need to be getting your samples. They should be out all the time. My 2 bags are out, I can say that this month. They haven't been, but we want you to concentrate on that. That is something that you should be doing in your prioritizing of your hour.
And I know, like Lisa's just referenced it, some people say like parties are not for me, but please try and get parties because honestly, when we talked about the beginning of our business, when I say like it was literally like we were in a WhatsApp chat, like you guys are all in our respective groups, and somebody be like, "Oh my God, I've done a party, I've just got 400 PRV. Oh my God, I've done a party, I've done £600 in orders tonight." That was how our businesses grew, was on parties. So are we doing as many parties now? No, I'm not. And that is on me. I have got a couple of parties booked in the diary, one over the summer and one in November that actually came in yesterday. But make sure you're trying to get parties. And if you can't get parties, like we said, do borrow bags. But definitely, definitely do not like disregard them and think, oh well, people don't want
It's
parties.
all about socials. It's not.
It's not. I
In
promise you,
fact, actually, the
especially.
smelling doing the selling is number one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Make sure whether it's a party, a borrow bag, a sip and sniff session, wine and whiff, whatever you want to call it, getting them smells under people's noses 100% will bring you sales in.
And yes, Trish, you can. Parties are a struggle, but then we've also got WhatsApp parties now. We've got text parties. Yesterday, very briefly, I took a borrow bag to a brand new customer that was off of a job form, which I will talk about that in a bit. And she ended up, she's given me a £200 order last night. And I asked her about, she used to be a consultant. I asked her about reinstating and she said maybe in the future. So and now I've just done that, done her a party in a party link. It's on her name, put the order through in her name, and happy days. Like she's
Claire
gonna,
has just said, my Quinny Quad borrow bag has worked wonders for me. If you have enough credit, I would 1,000% recommend investing in one for to try. Honestly, I've it's been a game changer. I've sold one quad, one purifier, one warmer, and another quad order pending as she's saving for it, all three customers having Quinny for a sleepover. I love the
Queenie, I love
code.
that. I am gonna do that. I feel like I'm gonna work mine. Actually, that's a really good tip because I've got one down there that's a spare one. And about giving that out to all my best customers one by one
Yeah.
for sleepovers. What a good idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. It's
She's
just
just
a
called
quad.
her quad Quinny. She's just named her quad. It's not a Scentsy product. It's just the quad that she's called
Fancy
Quinny.
quad. Okay, so this is a very, very quick bullet point. Okay, where does it say on your socials that you are a Scentsy consultant? You
Oh
would
yeah,
not believe the amount of people that have been in my inbox this week for other network marketing companies, and I've got no idea what company they're with. And if I went to your profile, if you're allowed to have it on there, you should have on there somewhere that you're an independent Scentsy consultant. If it doesn't say that on your groups or on your profile or on somewhere, you need to go and put it on there. I want you to go and put on your Facebook profiles, your Instagram profiles, somewhere, tell it that you're a Scentsy consultant. If you don't want to do that and you want to do like a pinned post of you with Scentsy products saying, hello, I'm a Scentsy consultant, as well as all my other things that I do, pin it to the top of your Facebook. I'm actually going to do that this week. But there should be somewhere that if I go to your Facebook, I can look at your Facebook and be like, she's a Scentsy consultant. I should know straight away that you are a Scentsy lady or gent. Okay. If you haven't done that, that's a task for you to go and do.
definitely.
Okay. Okay, next one. We've got using buy and sell pages, job form, and collecting data and leads. This is my favorite one right now because this is winning for me right now.
Well, I've actually done it yesterday, or even maybe this morning, and I had some come in with requests for sample packs. So actually, it worked within the first couple of hours of putting it out.
Okay, so I did a training on jot forms and how to use them. I will share it with you, Laura, so that you can share it across. I'll put it on YouTube and then that can be shared with your group. Basically, a jot form is like a Google, if you know how to do Google Forms, it's very similar. If you know how to do, it's basically making a form that your customers, that people can fill in, and you need to advertise it everywhere. You're going to advertise it on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so take a picture. Sorry, this is going to get Blue Peter jobby. The most basic sample pack I think I've ever made in my life. It doesn't have a catalogue in it. It's got a few samples in it. It's got a what do you call it? A product sheet. Couldn't think what it was called. I wrapped it in some pretty tissue paper. It's got some join cards in there, just stuff that's already in Scent Squad and or Glitter Sparkle that I've gone and printed out, and I put them in C5 postal boxes that are from Amazon that come flat, and you make them. You do not need to put them in here. You could put them in a clear envelope. You could put them in a whatever. Okay. They don't need to be all singing or dancing. So please, please, please do not spend hours making sample packs. They need to be quick. You need to be able to make them fast. Okay. Make up a load of samples and make up. You're going to find other groups. So, I'm going to talk about that in a minute because it's not just one group. You don't just want local. So you are going to make up some sample packs. You're going to take a picture and what do you make up in a small scent pack? Trish, I've just literally said that. Was you listening, love? Switch on those ears, girls. Switch on the listening ears. Come on. Get them listening ears going, girl. Literally, if not, rewind it back because I won't repeat. But I literally did say, very basic sample pack, okay? It's a few samples and some bits and bobs, like just paperwork, which you've got laying around that or that's in Scent Squad or Glitter Sparkle. Print it off, stick it in a box, stick it in a pack, make it look pretty. Take a good picture with it,
Yes.
okay?
I was
In
just
good
trying to
light.
say. Oh, I haven't gotten there. So I did make up three the other day, and one of them went out to Manchester from somebody that I met on holiday, and she's the girl that I was talking to you about the other day that used to do Body Shop and is now thinking about joining, etc., etc. And all that was in that box, exactly the same boxes as Lisa's. Jess, if you're on, they're the ones I was just talking to you about before we came live. It's literally a poster box. It had a product sheet, it had a card with join info, it had a card about me and Scentsy, and it had three wax samples. That was it. That was
That's all
all
it
that was
is.
in there.
Classics, okay, girls and
Yeah.
guys, stick to the classics. So Windowsill Breeze, Clothesline, Coconut
Amazon
Lemongrass,
Rain.
Oodles of Orange, Amazon Rain,
Yeah.
things that you know are crowd pleasers. Okay, I personally wouldn't be putting like if you love, I don't know, buzzworthy. I don't know. You might have that in the stash. I wouldn't personally be putting that
No,
in there because that's a bit of a niche wax bar. Okay, we're going with something that people love. Okay, that most people want laundry smells or
bit
vanilla bean buttercream. You
fruity.
could get away with vanilla bean buttercream.
Yeah,
Um, what you're then going to do is you're going to upload the picture of them onto Marketplace for free. They are free. Now, this is the hard. What you're then going to do is you're going to add your drop form link that you're going to make. And I say to anybody that wants one, they've got to fill in the drop form link or they
yeah,
don't get a sample pack. The reason for it, drop form collects names, addresses, telephone numbers, and email addresses. You are then going to copy and paste those all into your workstation. You're literally going to copy them all across because they are going to be added to your email list. So even if they don't buy from you off of the back of said sample box that might have cost you to send out to them, they may buy it in the future. It gives you a way of following up with them. Do not, rule number one and rule number 100 and all the rules in between, do not give out a single box without a way of following up with somebody.
yeah.
And I would say that it needs to be more than just somebody in Messenger, to be completely honest. Unless you've had a really good conversation with them, because there are a lot of people out there that will give you their address, they will run with the samples, and you'll never see them again. Okay, but it's worth doing.
And also, I'm just going to say this, make sure they're not a Scentsy consultant. I don't want
Uh,
to be that person, but we have both had this where we have not maybe again this person didn't have it on their social media, and I know people, but asked them and said you're not a consultant because we've had it where we've sent
I
out
go and I
samples.
look on their profile.
Yeah,
I go
and
and look.
I do like super sleuth now, but and that's why we always write like no consultants because I have actually we've sent sample packs to people, followed up with them, and then they're like, oh, I'm actually a consultant. I just wanted to see what was in your sample pack. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
had that before. Also, guys, don't you do that to people either.
Yeah,
That is really important. Other things you can do once you've got that post. I made it as a reel. I did it as a post.
yeah,
I went to my best customers. I literally screenshotted where the share button is. You know, the little arrow that to share. And I said, could you please share my post onto your public profile?
yeah,
15 of my customers went and shared it. All of a sudden, my drop form starts pinging. I'm getting requests for sample packs, or they're tagging in, oh, Amanda, you need one of these. Oh, well, you need one of these. You need one of these. Claire, I know Claire Evenden has done this. 24 sample packs she's sent out. And she also put them on her local buy and sell page. She also put them, and I would recommend that, but rule number 100, 1 to 100, all the rules in between. When you go onto a page, my biggest bugbear is when I've posted on a page and then a Scentsy consultant goes and posts the next day and they've not gone and checked and like had a little look. Like for me, if I see someone have posted in one of the Wickford pages, I'd give it a couple of days and or at least maybe 3 or 4 days and then I would post. Does that make sense? Because it does happen. And then I'm like, why have they done that? Because it makes us look like we're then
yeah,
competing with each other. And yes, you might get some that post every single day. If that's the case, find another group. Find
yeah.
a group where you can post. There's loads of buy and sell like groups across the whole of the country that let people sell.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Today, just today, I have in my WhatsApp chat, I actually said to my customers, I created a post. I said, would it be okay for me to post on your personal profile? I just asked them, and loads of them said, yeah, absolutely fine. So I've then posted the post with my picture onto their profile and said, Kerry has said, thank you to Kerry for letting me post, with my drop form. So you just don't be scared to ask people. They might say yes, I really doubt they're going to say no. Like,
No.
if somebody came to you and said, like, would it be okay if I post on your profile? You're gonna go, okay. Like, don't be
Yeah.
scared to ask.
You don't be scared to ask. And I will just say with this, like, yes, I know it's frustrating because I find that sometimes I see people on the Wickford pages and I think, you don't live in Wickford, you live in like Benfleet or somewhere. And I like want to message and be like, get back to your own local group. But we don't do that.
No.
Okay. So we just don't do that. It's just there are enough Facebook groups out there where you can post or use Marketplace. You've got to remember that there's over like 1 billion users on Facebook. I have had something like 27 requests for packs from people in America. I don't know why. My post is somewhere and I don't know where it's got to, but it's on an American page somewhere and it's meant that I had a conversation last week on the phone with a girl that's thinking about joining. She's still thinking about it, but that's and then I sent Kathy. I know Kathy's on here. Hi, Kathy. she's in America. I sent Kathy a list of people. I've got a few more for you where I was like, they only want samples. So I just sent them off to Kathy and I said, here you go, Kathy, have all these people. She was like, oh my God, thanks very much. So I literally just sent them all off to her. So it's worth doing. Yes, Sharon, I'm going to share it. It's in Squad. And Laura will share it in Good Sparkle. So we will share that.
But also, I'm just going to say this. Google University. If ever we mention anything and you can't find a training or we're not around or we haven't answered a question or whatever, go to YouTube and type it in.
Yeah.
Everything, I guarantee everything in the world is on YouTube. Everything. My husband tiled a kitchen once from YouTube. My 14-year-old son learned how to play the guitar this week from YouTube. Like everything is on YouTube. So we obviously have it, but don't ever let that be a reason and go, oh, well, I've asked Lisa and Laura and I can't find the training, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube it because it'll tell
Go
you.
you. Also, guys, your customers will help you get your names out there. Like if you are really struggling, like Becky's, you've said about this other consultant. For me, I would be like, right, well, go and speak to your customers. Get your customers to post on your behalf. Get your customers to share a review of you in the buy and sell page. If you're thinking, I can't look like Spammy Pammy, ask one of your customers to post on the local page because it's going to be more buzzworthy. It's going to be buzzworthy. I've got that head in my so in my head. It's going to be more like um appealing to other people if it comes from somebody saying, I've used this consultant and they give me an amazing experience. So and or you start posting as well. If
Yeah.
that really is the case, if they're posting every single day, post as well. Like that you go
But
find,
also, yeah, also think about this. I live in Rayleigh. I've got a lot of customers in Rayleigh. I also have customers in Wickford. Lisa lives in Wickford. She has a lot of customers in Wickford. She also has customers in Rayleigh. Like I've got a customer that literally lives in the next street along to Lisa. Like it's okay. There are thousands of people in the world. You don't need to get territorial about it. Like that's the reason Scentsy doesn't have territories. There are other companies that literally have. Just to give you an example, when I was a fitness instructor, I used to teach clubber size, and I literally they knew where my postcode was and I wasn't allowed to teach. I wasn't allowed to hire any halls, literally like within a radius. They literally drew me a map and said, you are not allowed to teach because this instructor lives here and that is their territory. Like Scentsy don't want it to be like that. And literally there are enough people and enough customers in the world to go
yeah.
around.
And
So
I'll add in on what Emma's just said there. She's in Nottingham and she's got a Canvian customer. We could be like a customer in Canvey. We could be like, hold on a minute, Canvey Island is like literally I'm there every day, like every day,
every day.
every day. And I will just add on that. You don't want customers on your doorstep, guys. You want customers that are in Scotland if you're in Essex. You want
Yeah.
customers in Spain, Ireland. You want your customers to be all over the place, okay? Because otherwise like you will get to a point where when people say, oh, the market's so saturated, probably it may well be if they're only in one area and they're only posting in one village where there's only 500 people living, then yes, we could feel like that. This is where it's important to start thinking bigger. We've got to be thinking we're making ourselves loud and proud. Okay, we are going bigger than just where we live and just our customer groups.
And actually, when you then want to sponsor and recruit and grow, if you're then connecting and networking in these places, then you're going to start sponsoring in these places. So it's about thinking bigger. It's not about being obnoxious. It's not about being arrogant. It's about being proud. It's about being proud to show up as you are. And there are like, you need to like get out of that small town, not just town, I don't mean that, but like
Mentality.
small
Yeah.
mentality. Like the world is a huge place with like infinite people. And there's people turning 18 every day that can buy Scentsy and that can join Scentsy. So honestly, you need to just think bigger.
And if you're not feeling confident, you've got to almost fake it till you make it, girls and guys. Like you've got to. You've got to set yourself a challenge to be like, right, I'm going to talk about myself, which is a really hard thing to do, at least twice this week on my social media or in my customer group or on my stories or anywhere on public platforms. Go on, Lo.
No, it's fine. Really weird. I've just tapped on that because Harry had messaged me. But there's a guy that I don't even know why he's come up. This is clearly the algorithm. I don't even know who he is, whether he's a life coach, fitness person, I don't know. But he's literally just written, can I just say to all you women posting dancing videos in your kitchen, singing in your car, showing off your new outfits, take a fucking bow for reminding younger lasses that
Language.
confidence doesn't need permission. Sorry, because it's going on the internet. So, confidence doesn't need permission. Keep being loud and keep making noise.
Ah, there you go. It's listening.
There you
Instagram.
go.
If you're listening to us,
Yeah,
Laura then talks about how you can grow your team, right? Okay. And these things will actually start to help you grow your team. For those of you that want to grow a team, you might be feeling a little bit like, well, I've asked everybody in my village, I've asked all my customers, but this is where tapping into those networks where you're asking people to share for you. You're asking people, I know referrals don't always work. I know a lot of you have said to me, Lise, I've asked my customers 100 times, but getting them to actually just post you with your group, you create the post, getting that out there, you will start to build your team further and wider. Trust me, not all of my team are in Wickford. A big chunk of it, that's where it started in Canvey Island. I've got a huge amount of team in Canvey Island. However, as time's gone on, it's gradually moving up the country. And it started to, and like we've got Kathy over in America over there. So, there it's growing and it's moving. And that's what we want to look for. We want those conversations to lead to join conversations, especially when you've got a £9 or a $9 or a €9 join kit this month.
absolutely.
That is like literally music to our ears, being able to advertise something like that. So it brings us nicely into talking about that very briefly, because we've literally got about 10 minutes left. I can't get over how long we
I
talk for.
know.
Literally like chatterboxes, aren't we? So
Um, but yeah, exactly. And when it comes to sponsoring, you like Lisa just said, don't just think about where you live. Don't just think about the UK. Like we can sponsor anywhere we are open, basically. So we want our teams going international, right? We want to be sponsoring in other regions. I don't know if she's on, but Katrina's got an amazing team over in Spain. She's smashing the list every single month.
Sam, that is Sam, isn't it? That's just
Yeah,
commented.
Sam, that's what I was just gonna
Hey
say. Yeah,
Sam,
I'm in Spain and I sell in the
hi.
UK too. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Woo! Welcome. Hey Sam. So this, if you're not sure, guys, you can sponsor in Region 1, Region 2, or Region 3. So Region 1 is America and Canada and Mexico. Region 2 is obviously the UK, Ireland, Northern Ireland. You've also got France, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands,
Luxembourg.
Germany, Luxembourg, Austria. I'm sure that's in there. I could be wrong. And then you've obviously got New Zealand and Australia. So if you know people in these places, this is a really good time or a really good like month to start reaching
That's
out to
brilliant. Yeah.
people and saying, look, you might not want to join. This is what I would say. You might not want to join me, which is absolutely fine. I know you're in Australia and I'd really love you to join. If you don't want to join me with me, that's fine. But would you share a join post for me on your social media that their friends in Australia are going to see? Would you share in Spanish for me? Would you share on your German page for me for all your German friends to see? And it might well be that you advertise those sample packs, and that's where you start. Obviously, for region 1 or region 3, it might be a bit far to send wax in a box. That's why I reached out to Kathy and said, look, you can do if you want to give these samples, that's amazing. However, join conversations you can have. So these are things to start to think about. Like we're making ourselves louder, prouder, and bigger. We are getting out there. We are getting our names out there further afield where we can talk about that. Annie said she's worried about building a team as she feels like, well, I'm still working under another job. I don't have time. Do you know what, Annie? I'm gonna say something for you. You are part of two very incredible wider team groups. So you're part of Split Sparkle and Scent Squad, or whichever one. I don't know which one you're part of. And there is always someone that will help you do that. You don't need to run their business. They're
No,
independent. All you need to be able to do is answer some questions. And as long as you set the expectation from the beginning, that it might be, I work from 9 to 5, for example, I probably won't be able to get back to you until like 7ish. However, you're in this group, this group, this group, like you are. Ask the questions in there if I'm not there. And when I'm back from work, I'm all yours. You just message me and let me know how I can help you.
100%. What you need to remember is when people join Scentsy, they're an independent Scentsy consultant. And like we said, we both worked full time as well till I was a star director when I stopped teaching my classes. Um, I think, were you director or star director? I think when you
No,
stopped.
I was superstar director when I gave up work.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, yeah. So you went all the way to SSD. So obviously we built teams and we're working as well. It's not your job to run somebody else's business. And actually, um, how can I put this in the nicest way? Like you want somebody that's not in your inbox all the time and asking you all the
Yeah,
questions. You want somebody that's independent and that's going to the things and that is able to go to a group. Because when and we hear this a lot when it comes to sponsoring, people are like, oh, I can't be there because we're not on our like we're not there 24/7 to answer questions for people. There is a workstation and there is a search bar. And quite a famous quote from Orville Thompson is that, you need to be not leaving people, but leaving people to their own devices so they become independent consultants. You're not there to spoon feed people. So don't ever worry about not sponsoring because you've got other commitments. Because as long as you have maybe half an hour a day to go back to people, you can direct them in the right place to go and find things on the workstation or go and find things in the group. You can build a team.
And
Honestly.
that's what mine and Laura's jobs are. Our jobs are to be here for those people that need
Yeah.
the support all day, every day. When you're at work, that's what our job is. We're here
100%.
to be those people right now. And I mean, I even did that when I was working on and I was teaching netball at the same time. I come in on my lunch break and I would answer questions. As long as you set the expectations of when you're available, you will be absolutely fine. And I'll tell you what, building a team is the most
Best
exciting
thing.
part of the business that you can do, and you will love it. You will love it. Once you've got a couple of teammates working with you and you can talk about things and converse, you will love it. So this month we've got the amazing £9 kit. If you don't know what that is, definitely go and have a look on the workstation because we're running out of time and I'm conscious that I just want to share some ideas of how you can use it this month. Some of the things that I shared with Laura earlier, and she's like, oh, that's a quite good idea. For example, one of my customers spent £130 with me this week. So I messaged her and I said, before I place this order, would you consider, did you want to get your own account? It's only £9 to get your own account, and then you're going to have a £20 voucher to be able to take off of your order. And I said, not only that, you will earn commission back on your order. So it's like getting cash back on your order. Now, obviously, the aim is to try and get people working to the point they want to share it with their friends and family. But if you've got customers that spend really big chunks with you, this is all going towards your group volumes. This is the sort of having lots of customers that are doing this. I think this is the whole point of the digital kit is
Yeah.
so that your customers that are absolute addicts that don't need a big kit, they don't need all the samples, they've smelt all the waxes, they know what's good,
They
they know
know they've got all the things.
they are going to be your ones that you could offer this £9 kit to. So if that, I would put them in the forefront of your mind. If they're spending quite big money, you could save them some money by it because they're going to get £20 off with their voucher. So that's just something to think about. Okay.
And also remember, it's not our job to decide. You might look at your customer and think, oh, well, they've got, they work or they do this. It's not our job to decide who wants to be a Scentsy consultant. It's our job to offer the opportunity. And um, when there's an £85 kit, the cost might be a bit of a stumbling block. When something is £9, which is literally the price of two coffees, offer it to everybody. You might be
Anyone that
pleasantly
listens.
surprised. Honestly, it's our job to offer it. It's not our job to decide who might want it or not.
No. And then it's up to people what they do with it. I know that sometimes we look at it and we can look in and go, oh, it just doesn't look that great. I had that perception when I first see it because I was a bit like, oh, people that sign up for very little don't tend to do a huge amount with their businesses. However, there have been some people that have signed up completely for free with me and
Yeah.
they have absolutely smashed it. And then I'm like, well, I was wrong about that. So it's okay to have those faults, okay? It's okay for that.
Make
Also,
sure.
go
Sorry,
on.
was you going to say about emailing?
No, go for it.
Actually, funny enough, this was on our notes that you sent over, but actually, that was the last thing on my list today. It's actually written here: email out the join opportunity. If you're talking about it on your social media, if you're talking about it in conversation, some people might not want to talk about it. Send it to people's email. That email might drop in, and they might have been thinking about it, and then they're like, "Oh, £9, I might as well give it a go." Make sure you are utilizing your email. This is what we're saying about when we're building those leads. Make sure you're emailing people the opportunity, and don't just send it once. I'm not saying send it every single day, but throughout the month, make sure you've sent it multiple times because sometimes people will see an email, they're like, oh, I must do that. I must do that. I must get back to that. Send it again. Send it again and remind them. So make sure you're emailing out about the opportunity as well.
100%. And then I also put on the list, guys, that when somebody says that they may be interested in the £9 kit, if you've got a host kit
Yeah.
ready to go, then you could, if you think they're going to be good, you could be like, look, I that is an option for you, but I'm going to gift you a host kit for the £9 instead. Because if you've got £50 credit sitting there, you can actually give them the kit. They give you the £9 and you use £41 worth of your credit to go towards that. If you don't know how to do that, Laura and I have both got trainings on the host kits, but it definitely could be a great way to draw somebody in, have the conversation, and they're getting a lot. They're getting like a £200 kit for £9.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth
Emma's just said she had to join under a £9 host kit today.
yeah. Um, I will just say the last sort of thing on this, really, guys, more than anything, is you've got to be talking about it loud and proud.
Yeah.
People were taking the pee out of us in the gym this morning that there's
They
a
were.
£9 join kit. Didn't they? Hadn't they seen it on our socials? And
And
it's definitely you
it
just
almost,
got to do it.
when we were away and we got back to the gym and they were like, "Oh, have you been to Greece?" And we were like, "Yeah, yeah, we have." And actually, I said, "Well, that's good because it means I was doing my job right." So I don't think people don't mean it in like, but honestly, if you do not share about this, how are people going to know about it? And 9 times out of 10, if people don't worry, and I know people say this all the time, but honestly, it is so true. Do you want to get to the end of your life? Not the end of your life, that's quite morbid. I don't mean that. But like look back in the future and think, well, sorry, I didn't mean that. Do you want to look back in the future and think, oh, like what would have happened if I'd actually like given Scentsy a go? Like what could have happened? Like if you really want to go on the next incentive trip, or you really want to go to SFR and walk the stage as a director, or you really want to do all these things, you've got to change some of the things that you're doing right now. It is possible for any one of you. We are just normal people that bought a kit just like you bought a kit. All we have done is applied the things that were shown to us. We were coachable, we were disciplined, and we actually did the things that we were advised to do. Just exactly the same as we're advising you guys to do it tonight. It is that simple. So if you want to do it, like we said, be big, be loud, be proud to be a Scentsy consultant, and make sure you're telling people about it.
I will just add on that, and we're going to finish with that word. You've got to prioritize it.
Prioritize.
That's what Laura and I do every single day. It doesn't matter whether something awful's happened in our lives. It doesn't matter whether we are going through the worst time of our lives. You're never going to hear me say, you've seen me turn up for lives with COVID, when I've been on death's door. I mean, I've done multiple trainings with Laura where she's like, Lisa's really ill, by the way, guys. And here I am. I should be packing for a holiday that I'm going on Saturday that I've got no time to pack for right now. But here I am showing up, doing a training because you're my priority. Okay. This is a
100%.
priority in my life. Of course, packing for my family holiday is a priority, but I make a choice to show up for my business every single day, no matter what.
And I'm going to set you a challenge. Go and look at your screen time on your phone and then tell me you haven't got time to work your Scentsy business.
And
Because
I
I
went, "Oh, that's
guarantee
fine."
if you look how, yeah, but you're working, it's okay. If you if you look at how much time you spend scrolling, like Lisa just said, last year when my son was in hospital, he had quite a serious operation. We ended up in Leeds Hospital for 2 weeks. I could have just sat and doom scrolled and ended up in like a depressed pit of doom, but I didn't. When he was sleeping, I worked my Scentsy business. I had more PRV on the third of the month than I think I'd had in the previous 3 months because I worked. I followed up with people. I messaged people. I email people because my business is a priority. So if you prioritize something in your life, it is going to grow, and you need to make that sensey.
Okay, we've got a couple of challenges for you. So Laura's asked you to go and look at your screen time. That's the first one. I think that's a really good task. And then if your kids abuse you like I do, mine do. Um, I want you to prioritize, this is the second thing, for the next 7 days, I want you to prioritize your business for an hour a day minimum. Okay. If you choose to do more than that, it's up to you, but 1 hour a day. How that hour looks, you can break it into 30 minutes, you can break it into 20-minute slots, 10-minute slots, wherever it works for you. But I want you to say to yourself every day, I'm going to give my business 1 hour every day and 1 hour of growth activities.
Yeah,
There is
yeah, yeah.
no fluffy shizzle in there, guys. No, that doesn't include watching any training. Don't want training in there.
I just want to highlight something, and I know you are joking here, Amy, when you say this. We're not suggesting don't ever watch TV with your husband or your partner, or don't ever go for a coffee with your friend. We're not suggesting that at all. In fact, it's really important. You know how disciplined we are with the gym. That hour a day, like, is the only time I think in my whole week that I switch off and my brain is just focused on me and what I'm doing in the gym. It's really important to have that downtime, but make sure you've done some sensey stuff first.
Yeah.
Like really involved. I can't remember the name. I'll find it and share it. Dan and I are watching an amazing series. We're on the last episode, and he said tonight we're watching that series. But I ain't gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna do this tonight, or I'm not gonna put my order through. I'm gonna do all that first, then I'm gonna go and watch the program. So make sure you do make time for yourself. You shouldn't do Scentsy 24 hours a day.
1 hour. That's all we're
One
asking.
hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay, the last challenge is going to be a tough one. Okay, this is a tough one, and I know not everybody might want to do this, but it is a tough one. The challenge is to message 10 people over the course of the week, and you're going to ask them and 10 people that you've not asked before. Don't be just going back to the comfort same people. Oh, I can ask her because I know she'll say no. If they have ever considered joining Scentsy. That's the question that you're going to ask. Don't fluff it. Don't write no more. Like, don't Scentsy sick on them. Literally, have you ever considered joining Scentsy? Not my team. Don't say my team. Don't say
No,
anything like that. Have you ever considered joining Scentsy? You can add it in conversation if you wish, but that's the direct question. That's the question you need to finish on so that they answer you. 10 people. So your three tasks. One, look at your screen time. Go and make yourself feel sick when you look at that and then realize that you definitely aren't worth. Because if you imagine, if your screen time per day, let's say your screen time is 6 hours per day, and you were doing 6 flat hours of Scentsy, and you actually then start. What I want you to think about is this. Joanne Davidson did this with us once, and it was so powerful. She said, "How many hours do you work a day?" And I was like, "Probably about an hour." Maybe I was doing an hour at the time. So say I did an hour a day. And then she said to us to go away and do, I'm gonna have to do the maths. But say I'd earned let's say I'd earned £500 that month, let's just say, for example, right? And in that time, I'd done probably 10 hours in that month. I then went and did 500, the amount of money I got, divided by this is easy maths, but obviously I don't need to do it on my calculator, but divided by the time I'd worked my business, my 10 hours, it meant that I was being paid £50 an hour. Now, you tell me if you're getting paid £50 an hour in your current job that you're doing. Most of you are going to tell me no, there's not going to be many of you unless you're an accountant or a doctor or something. So what I want you to look at is, okay, I want you to go and work out how many hours you genuinely did on Scentsy maybe in the month of June. Look at your pay when you get
yeah,
paid in July, and then look at what your hourly rate would be. I guarantee most of you are probably getting paid 25, £30 an hour. Maybe a bit less. Maybe £10
absolutely.
an hour.
Really powerful. Like,
Because
really, really
even if you
powerful.
get paid £100, some of you might be like, I only worked an hour. Then you've just been paid £100 an hour. Okay, what job can you do the way? Imagine if you worked 10 of those and you got paid £1,000. What would £1,000 get you?
Absolutely.
Think of it from that perspective. So ask some people to join your team. 10.
Because
Tell
just think about it this way, okay? If you never ask anyone, the answer's always going to be no. If you never tell anybody new that you're a sensor consultant, you're never going to get any new customers. You have to make it that simplistic. If you're not actually asking people, it's never going to happen.
never
So
going to change.
make sure you're prioritizing sharing and asking and talking
If
to people.
if you're not building a team, so I am aware there are some people on here that are not building teams, then you can message 10 people that have never bought Scentsy from you before that are friends and offer them a free sample pack. So there's something for everybody there. Okay.
Definitely.
And if you want to do all of them, then you get a gold star for when we're here in 2 weeks.
Okay. I hope this has been, or we hope this has been powerful. We really wanted you to go away with that energy and that, that feeling that we have been having from you guys. Because please know, when you share and when you go live or you share that and you go, I hope that was okay. We're like, yes, it is okay. Please share more. Like, it's amazing because then you are inspiring other people as well. And that's what we wanted to do for you guys tonight. But we want you to be loud and proud and be bold and be proud to be a sense consultant and make sure the world knows because, you know, there's just there's just so much good stuff to come. Like if you just knew the real possibility of what, where you are right now, it's just phenomenal. And we just want you all to experience all the amazing things that Scentsy can bring you.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. We haven't decided what the topic's going to be. I am going to do a bit of a rogue training at some point, and Laura, I don't mind putting it out to everybody, on how to revive your business if you feel like it's flopping at the moment. For some of you girls and guys that have been with Scentsy for quite a long time, and you feel like things are you're on the struggle bus, because I know that there are people that feel like that. So that is, maybe we could actually do that as our next powwow, and
Yeah,
then
because we talked about this because we do understand that if you're like when you do something new and fresh and it's exciting and it's all the things and we get that. But also when you've been doing something a long time and maybe you've lost that buzz for it a bit, it's okay to admit that. Like if you don't admit it, you're never gonna get out of it. we understand that there are people out there like that as well. So we just, we want to help you. We just want to help you. We just want to help you with, so this is why we put them on. So yeah, definitely we'll do that.
We hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to see the action that you take, girls and guys. Honestly, I'm excited to see what you do with this because now you've watched an hour's training. The challenge is to go and do an hour's work. You need to go and do, or at least 20-minute work. So if I were you, I'd all go to Connect and go and do all of your tasks that are on Connect.
And be proud that you've been to a training. Take a screenshot, take a video, tag it in, tag your teamies. Talk about how you've been inspired tonight because again, other people will be watching and they might think, oh, maybe I want a bit of that. So make sure you are loud and proud as a sense consultant.
Yeah, and feel free to tag us in anything. You know that, like, I'm not sure I'm ready. Okay, well, I will have a little read on all of this. And guys, you're all amazing. Thank you so much as well for giving up your time and being
Definitely.
here tonight because that is like for us the biggest thing. So many of you
Oh.
gave up your time
And you
tonight.
stayed on. 36 of you have stayed on. I love it. Right, thank you guys. I will share the recording. I'll share it tonight. I'll as soon as it's downloaded, I will share it. So yeah, thank you so much. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
See you soon, guys. Bye bye.
Bye, bye bye.